Chattanooga's downtown urban core, whether on the North Shore or in other neighborhoods like Southside or Highland Park, there are apartment buildings being constructed left and right. The popular narrative surrounding this is that this residential development is driving up costs for everyone and gentrifying once majority black neighborhoods. In other words, many see the housing crisis as a result of greedy out-of-town developers coming into our city to make a quick buck at the expense of working-class Chattanoogans. While this is an alluring story, and in some sense intuitive on its surface, the frustration with rising housing costs and increased inaccessibility to homeownership is being pointed in the wrong direction. There is an oligarchy pulling the strings, keeping an affordable life out of reach for many, but it is not residential housing developers. At the root, it is not out-of-town LLCs hiking up rent. The uncomfortable truth is this: it is homeowners who use their political power to effectively resist this dense residential development. We all know the term, not in my backyard, or NIMBY. For many, this may seem counterintuitive. The common line of thinking is that when developers build, the area becomes more desirable, and in turn, rents rise. It is an understandable thought process. Seeing new apartment buildings crop up in these areas and being occupied by white, relatively wealthier urban professionals, understandably, may lead one to believe the development itself is the problem. But this doesn't square with the reality. It is not residential development making an area desirable. There are various factors, both economic and social, that draw new residents to a neighborhood. That increased demand raises rents. It is then that developers build more units in an attempt to meet that demand. In other market contexts, we know this to be true. If demand outpaces supply, common sense economic logic shows that costs will increase, and vice versa. No, those dense residential buildings popping up on the North Shore or downtown proper are not going to be occupied by sub-$50,000 workers.